Kansas City Chiefs reign supreme
again
in NFL. Once again, 2 out of 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
2 out of 4 years, I believe.
2 out of 4 years because they lost one.
They lost one, yeah.
Yeah. The interviews with Pat Mahomes were great. The owner of Kansas City Current probably at that moment did not know he was the owner of Kansas City Current. Did you see?
Who are you talking about?
Pat Mahomes?
Yeah.
So he was obviously came into the game injured, a high ankle sprain, right?
Yes. Well, he also owned. Well, I think he's on the paperwork for Sporting Kansas City. He's an owner.
Right. He's an owner of both.
City, but his wife is like the main owner of Kansas City Current. So
he also became an investor in that as well.
Okay. So I mean, look, it's all the same from one pocket to another.
Whatever. It's Kansas City. You own one thing, you own them all. Here's a couple ribs. All right. So that he came into the game with a high ankle sprain, an injury you and I will most likely never have, right? we're not in the athletics. That way.
A high? I've had ankle sprains. What makes it a high ankle sprain? A little bit higher.
A little bit higher. So he came into the game. People were like, can he even walk? And then he shows up and he's fine, gets tackled, gets injured. Halftime comes back from halftime. Dude's like, what's up, everybody? My guy was floating.
He was healed, bro. I mean, he got some of the.
Is that recording by any chance?
It is recording, yes.
Okay, because I don't see the dot.
I see it right. You see it? record anyway.
Perfect.
The joke I was gonna make was that Pat Mahomes got some of the stem cells from Rihanna's baby,
Jesus,
and healed his ankle,
bro. Let's just say he was on the button. You know, the doctors that give you the button so you don't feel pain.
Okay,
he was on it. Go ahead, do it. Homie was hitting that button. Fast fingers, bro. I gotta be honest, every time you do it, I'm even more impressed. It's really good. You would have absolutely destroyed some teenagers.
Bro.
Thank God you was a virgin,
I'm breaking out of every leg lock.
Oh, my God. Actually, I got this pinched nerve. You might want to get up in there, bro, in my shoulder, my G. You might be able to solve it.
All right. Okay, so I wanted to mention this because there's obviously a bunch of Philly fans in the chat saying, stop, we don't need to talk about this game.
Bro. 3 in a row, bro. How y'all lose 3 in a row?
But we got to talk about this because Philadelphia is taking massive L's.
Shouts to the picture in the middle. If you don't see it, what player is this for Philadelphia Union?
This is Kai Wagner.
He has his hands on his forehead. But the only way I can explain his expression is, ay Dios mío. Isn't that true?
He is, yes. He is, look, he's had enough. This is when Gareth Bale scored the goal. You know what I mean? He cannot believe it. But Philadelphia has lost 3 championships in 99 days.
That's crazy.
3 finals. They lost in the finals of their respective sports. They lost in the World Series. The Phillies lost to the Astros. The Union lost to LAFC in the MLS Cup final, which happened on the same day.
Right.
One afternoon and one evening of just...
That's just a bad day.
That's a bad Philadelphia day.
That's a rough day for Philly.
And then the Eagles, after leading, and Jalen Hurts' MVP performance.
Incredible.
4 touchdowns, right? 3 of them, I believe he ran in. Just an unbelievable game. This man shows no emotion whatsoever.
No.
It's very strange.
Day at the office for him. He shakes hands. Thank you. I'm glad I was able to score.
But it's good when, he gave up the fumble for a touchdown. He was like, all right, whatever, all good.
Part of the game.
Ended up, and then they end up leading a little bit later. But no.
Perk Mahomes went crazy. Says a nice Cobra. Homie was hitting them Zans at halftime, bro.
So you gotta feel for Philadelphia, but this is the thing that some people do not feel for Philadelphia.
I don't. I don't feel. Do you know what those fans did before the game started? They flipped over a car and danced on it.
Interesting.
And it wasn't like a police car, which is the thing most people flip over. It was like a Camry. You know what I mean? This was some Uber driver's like, it was right here. Oh, no. When he comes out the next morning.
I got to show this because FC Dallas also got involved. I don't know if you saw this.
Yes, because Hunt is the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Hunt family, of course.
Hunt family, La Familia Hunt.
And we've interviewed Dan Hunt, the owner of FC Dallas.
And we've spoken to this gentleman. It was very briefly at the Hall of Fame. The other Hunt brother, the one who is like more of
the Chiefs guy. It's Dan and who's the other?
Let's just call him Bob.
David. What's the other guy's name? I forgot his name. Anyway, but FC Dallas.
It's actually DeBrickashaw. DeBrickashaw Hunt.
Interesting. We know who's the black sheep in the family. But FC Dallas, which look. The FC Dallas, they're homies. We've been there. They're showing us a lot of love, but they really went in on.
It's like Clark Hunt, by the way.
Clark, okay.
Great. So not the Brickashaw.
But FC Dallas tweeted this out, congratulating the Kansas City Chiefs. And it just says, congratulations to the Chiefs.
It's the second paragraph that really gets you.
Congratulations to the Chiefs on bringing home another title for Lamar. Obviously, Lamar Hunt, the legendary owner.
I have a feeling Lamar named a Brickashaw.
and then the second line says, way to beat the worst city in America.
It was not necessary.
I mean, like,
no one asked for it.
Just spreading love, giving Kansas City their flowers. And they're like, yo, I'm gonna bring flowers to Philly's funeral too, bro.
Can you give me more of a Tim Burton flower vibe? Because, bro, you didn't need to say this, FC Dallas. Philly Union ain't even like your rival.
You came in hot. It makes me feel like, yo, is this personal?
Have you been holding on to this? Bro, admin, were you dumped by someone from Philly?
Dallas and Philadelphia are obviously in the NFC East. They're in the same division. So I can understand maybe there's clearly some history. But worst city in America?
It was a little too hot for the moment.
I got like 12 other cities before I say Philadelphia.
Dude.
A nice Cobra said DeBrickashaw Ferguson was a stud tackle.
And Nick Red said Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, named one of his kids DeBrickashaw. I hope that's true because I know DeBrickashaw Ferguson played for the Jets.
All right.
So I hope that name inspired the famous Key and Peele sketch. Where the names
of course. Yeah.
Crazier and crazier.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah. Robin Tagini said, wow, that is wildly unnecessary. What is going on with the admins? Well, there's something's happened the last, maybe since the Cooligans started.
I literally was about to say, this might be the Cooligans effect. And this is, look, a lot of times we give ourselves credit for stuff we don't deserve. This one, I think we okay. You already know, dog. Hit that with the Eagle screech, bro. That's this one.
You can't even hear
it, dude. It's too good, bro.
I'm too quick with it.
Yo, my God. I love it. Bro, I think you broke our board, dude. I am so impressed by this. I looked at Jasper Probing Crux, the third.
From the Key and Peele.
The third is the best part. I want to say, if I remember correctly, the LA Galaxy made the shooting star meme about the player from the Timbers.
Yeah.
They were fined, and we leaned in so hard. And obviously, the rest of the internet followed suit.
Sure.
A lot of people were retweeting what we were saying and stuff. And at that time, it became like, oh, wait a minute. People want to see this?
Yeah,
and the league was like, everybody get funny. Okay. No, now we have a FAM, funny allocation money. And it became a thing where like now you want to roast each other. And I think the NBA led the way. And we kept saying like, we need to be more like the NBA. These teams are kind of messing with each other a little bit. It adds another layer. Twitter, most leagues have found their footing, whether it's in TikTok or in Instagram. And I think Twitter is still where the NBA kind of lives because that banter back and forth, whether it's the fans arguing about who's really the GOAT or, about players, analytics and points and stuff and stats. But it's also the teams really go after each other on Twitter. And it's such a significant part of the game. It's becoming that for MLS. But every once in a while, one team does more than the rest. You know what I mean? And I think this is an example of that.
If this was a tweet that the Cooligans were crafting, Alexis wants to write a tweet about the Super Bowl, I'd be like, yo, Alexis, that last line, we may need to edit that one because where's the joke?
I like how you've suddenly given yourself this tone you take, which you do not take. You'd be like, hey, that last line, don't do that on our channel. Do that on your own.
That's not Alexis tweet. That is not an @soccer Cooligans.
You must have picked the wrong account when you started tweeting this out.
So look, I mean, I get it. I mean, and maybe there's a a context that we might be missing. But it does seem a little bit wild. But what are you gonna do?
By the way, Football Capo says Alexis tiene mucho sauce con ese green Yankee cap. And now Kevincho spelled it a different way, Yankee with a Y.
Right.
How does your family say it?
We
It's
don't
somewhere
really say
between
that,
a Y and a J.
Yeah, I would say more Y than J.
I get somewhere closer to a J. Yankee.
Young.
Los Yankees. Shouts to everyone hanging out. If you're listening, I'm wearing a green Yankee hat.
Okay.
And shouts to you, Football Capo, for just understanding style.
But again, congrats to the Kansas City Chiefs. I honestly thought it was going to be fairly easy for the Eagles. But it was.
We should have had a at the end, so it didn't land correctly.
But